For me and you, I want you, I love you. Can I touch you, I rub, let me love you. Put my dreams to the side only cause I trust you. Girl, I trust you, I love you, won't judge you.
What's going on? Set Velocity back. High pace, fast pace, whatever you want to call it. We're going straight into the unpredictability here. I'm Evan. He's Sean. Do you want to say anything to the people before we begin?
What's going on, everyone? Before we jump right into this, I want to advertise to all of you. If you aren't anime fans, get into anime. Anime and sports, they go together. Go ahead, Ev.
Yikes. So on the wheel of unpredictability, I guess that was pretty unpredictable in itself. We're gonna spin the wheel of NBA teams here, and kind of as a new segment of being unpredictable, we're going to talk about whichever team it lands on, and kind of talk about their roster and maybe improvements it could need, or additional things about their season or playoffs maybe, and kind of go into that. So, I'm gonna spin the wheel. All right, here we go. All right, it's spinning. Who do we got? Oh, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right.
Interesting.
That's a pretty good team to talk about. A little bit under the radar in terms of being covered by media, but very talented. So let's go into depth here, kind of their roster here. So as we know, with their starting five, they have the likes of Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Pat Bev, and then who is their forward?
I'm blanking on that at the moment.
I'm going to find it for us. Okay, so it's Pat Bev, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jared Vanderbilt at power forward. Right. He's young not star player, young player with good potential. And then backups Jordan McLaughlin, Malik Beasley, Taurean Prince, Naz Reid, and Jaden McDaniels. I would say that Naz Reid is not really a great backup center compared to what Karl Anthony Towns is, but I guess at the same time, when you have a star center, that's kind of your last priority as a backup center. I would say similar to the Sixers, they need a power forward. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt's not bad, but I would definitely like him coming off the bench. That would be really good. He's a young player, and he still needs a little bit more time to develop, in my opinion. The 23-year-old, of course, from Kentucky. He was also, by the way, a second-round pick, so good value for a second-round pick. Anthony Edwards, I've already told you 100 times, I think is better than LaMelo Ball, and I think that he showed some phenomenal flashes this year. That one dunk that he had that was called the charge, absolutely crap. That's okay. That dunk was crazy, though.
I'm going to say something you don't like. Anthony Edwards, the next Michael Jordan. All right, just kidding. But like MJ himself said that he's a bigger and stronger, like more explosive. First of all, the kid looks like Michael Jordan. If anyone's ever seen their faces juxtaposed to each other, he looked like Michael Jordan with hair. But yeah, similar explosiveness and like elite two-way play. Obviously, nowhere near as skilled as Mike was at the moment, at least.
So in terms of being compared to Michael Jordan, he does have the explosiveness, but he also has the anger that you see in Michael Jordan's face. You see that a lot with Anthony Edwards when he starts having bad performances or even bad shots. You could tell that he gets livid, and you kind of see from some of the camera angles that you're given. He's not happy sometimes. I wanted to get your thoughts on D'Angelo Russell and what you think that the team should do with him. Should he be maintained? He's still only 26, by the way. Which I thought he was by now like 28, 30.
I think they should hold on to him.
Okay.
Because D'Angelo Russell...
You still can't find as much skill as what he's providing.
Yeah, he's skilled. We wish his game IQ was better, but he is skilled. And when he is hot, like he's one of those guys where he's tough to stop, like when he gets going. I think they should hold on to him.
I would like to see them bring in maybe another backup point guard, because I don't think Pat Bev is necessarily a starting caliber point guard. He'll do well to piss off the other team, but I don't think he's starting caliber in a sense either. So I think they need more there.
Meaning they need a basketball player.
Yeah.
Not a hype man.
Yeah, and then they could probably use a power forward. Honestly, one that comes to mind, Pascal Siakam would be cool. To join Anthony Edwards and Cat, that would be a really good low-key
Mhm.
trio, as well as just having D'Angelo Russell on the side. That'd be a good team, but they also just need depth on their bench, and I think that's gonna have to be built through the draft and maybe a trade or two. Um, they have Jaden McDaniels, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy that Draymond Green called a nobody halfway through the year when he was on the Pistons. No, it's not. Jaden McDaniels. He was a first-round pick last year. Who did? I'm sorry, this is gonna drive me nuts. I need to know. There was a guy on the Pistons.
Oh, ain't nobody.
Dude, I don't remember who it was.
I can't find it. Only thing I remember is Draymond Green, little back and forth with KP.
Oh no, it was Rodney McGruder. That's who it
Okay.
was. Was calling him a nobody. Not that it has anything to do with Jaden McDaniels. I thought it was McDaniels. Heard the last name, but oh well. Okay, so I don't know if there's really much to add. Minnesota's been a low-key team. They got eliminated by the Grizzlies, but it was a good series, and then the Grizzlies had a decent series after with the Warriors. So I would say that they can compete with most teams. They just need a little bit more.
I will say I do like the increased intensity from Karl Anthony Towns' play this year. I think he needs to continue that moving forward. He has improved this year. He was basically being the Cat that we knew that he could be and should have been like for the past couple of years, I think. And
I
he's
agree.
stepped up more aggressively on the defensive end as well as a shot blocker.
I'm going to spin the wheel again.
Spin it.
It's time to spin the wheel. Who do we got? We got the Portland Trailblazers. Talk about a team that's in disarray, all right? They have a player who has been on and off in terms of wanting to be there and not wanting to be there. They have a coach that was not the priority coach, but the coach they ended up getting stuck with in Chauncey Billups. They lost their best second option in CJ McCollum, and then that's kind of where we're at. Actually, speaking of which, I want to give a quick unfortunate shout out, sad shout out. There's been a couple players, and I don't know what's happened lately, but there's been a couple college players that have passed away recently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so, like, some that only got to play a little bit in the NBA, but players that I liked in college. And now, in the last month, 2 of them have passed away that specifically I remember being 2 of my favorite players. One was Adrian Payne on Michigan State. I forgot I forgot how he passed away, but that was recently. Unfortunate, and he was considered one of the nicest people. Good Michigan State player, played a little bit in the NBA. And then the other one was Caleb Swanigan, who was power forward on Purdue, who I followed very closely when Purdue was second or third seed in the tournament. And they had a star center, I think by the name of Isaac Haas, who had gotten hurt in the tournament and was going to be out. And they had I forgot the guy's last name, but Matt something was their backup center. He was like a 7-footer, but he wasn't great. But their power forward was Caleb Swanigan, and he was a pretty undersized power forward, but he averaged 20 plus a game for them in the tournament, and they ended up losing, I think, in the Final Four of the Elite Eight, but they were expected to win it all, and he kind of carried them throughout that. Passed away of natural causes at the age of 25, so that's really unfortunate, but heart goes out to the family, and that was another player I really enjoyed watching, so it's unfortunate. Haven't heard much about him since he left it. The college basketball. I knew he played for the Trailblazers, but yeah, just so I wanted to throw that out there since we landed on Portland. But now, kind of moving towards and shifting attention towards Portland, they have
Damian Lillard come to the Heat.
Damian Lillard should leave that team in a heartbeat. Let me tell you. That's the first thing I should say. No matter where he
Or
goes,
Philly.
anywhere but there. They're literally the worst team in the NBA now, from my perception. Like, I would take the Pistons over them because of their current roster. I think the Pistons roster is better. It's just
Would you
Damian
take
Lillard's carrying them.
Would you take the Knicks over them?
Yes. The Knicks just win more than them. I think they had
Sure.
one of the worst records in the league, and it was just because they have no help
Damian
outside
was
of Damian.
out.
Yeah, Damian was
He was
out too,
out,
but
yeah.
even with Damian Lillard, they have like nothing outside of him.
I trust Damian Lillard to put out like some 60-point games and get more wins than the Knicks would.
The Knicks just have a lot of mid-tier pieces. It's kind of like the Knicks before
Yeah.
they traded for Carmelo, when it was like Landry Fields,
Yeah, they had Amari.
Amari Gallinari, but
Yeah.
Amari wasn't like a starting all-star at the moment. So I wouldn't put him on the threshold of Dame, but they at least had a couple. They have good mid-tier pieces right now, and RJ Barrett will either give them 30 or nothing.
Damian, I'm telling you, Philly or Miami.
I'm looking at some of these. Yeah, this roster's disgusting. This is the starting five. You ready for this? You have
Mhm.
Damian Lillard, Anthony Simmons, Josh Hart, Justice Winslow, and Yusef Nurkic. That's your starting five.
Another name right there, Nurkic. The Heat could use Nurkic.
Yeah, the Heat could use Nurkic if he could stay on the floor for more than 5 minutes. No disrespect to him because he's injury prone as well.
Hey, guess what? Bam will be out there to battle around in the paint. So,
and then they have decent backups, not great. So their backups are Chris Dunn, Brandon Williams, Keon Johnson, Nazir Little, Trendon Watford, and Drew Eubanks. I mean, I'm sorry, they have Eric Bledsoe too, and Ben McLemore. But Eric Bledsoe doesn't play because he's hurt. I'm sorry, but if you're Chauncey Billups, why'd you even accept this job? Like, you're gonna get fired immediately, bro. You have no chance of winning with this team.
Hey, he's a former player and a former champion.
He's gonna be a former coach next year.
He'll always have his clout. They'll hire him again.
It's like when Isaiah Thomas coached the Knicks. It's like you're coaching a team that has no chance, and now your whole coaching stature is going to be destroyed because of how bad this team is. He's probably not going to get another job.
We'll see.
I don't know what to tell the people on this podcast what they need. They need everything. Their team's terrible.
Yeah.
And honestly, their best move is to trade Damian Lillard because they need so many other pieces that they can at least make their team serviceable with that trade.
Yeah, time to hit the reset button.
Yeah. All right, we'll do one more spin and then we'll call it here. All right, what team we got? All right, the wheel's spinning. Here we go. Oh, almost a Heat. Atlanta Hawks. Let's skip that one because we just talked about the Hawks.
Yeah, okay.
For anyone who missed that, we were talking about what the Hawks can do in terms of a trade with the Sixers. Dallas Mavericks.
Interesting one. I
go
want to
first.
start this one off by saying I have Luka Doncic as, for me, lock top 5 player in the NBA right now.
Easily.
The Dallas Mavericks, they exceeded expectations. First of all, in that first round of the playoff, shout out to Jalen Brunson for stepping up when Luka needed him, when Luka couldn't be out there on the floor. Like, it was his heroics that like saved them in their battles against the Jazz, and then Luka came in towards the end of the series and cleaned that up. Shout out to Luka for destroying the Phoenix Suns, and Jalen Brunson and Tim Hardaway Jr. for cooking them in Game 7 and exposing a certain somebody for F's sake. And then again, the Warriors, like, they were a title favorite. Like, you guys clearly needed more. Like, got Jalen Brunson, as good as you guys were, you're role players, so you're not gonna have the level of consistency like needed to combat a team like that. But Luka still that clearly wasn't his best series, but he was still very good in that series. Like, the Warriors defense did not let up on him at all because they know what a threat he is. But he proved to me, like, I just want him to get out the first round this year, but he exceeded expectations. So I'm proud of you, Luka.
So with this team, I'm going to talk about a few things here.
Hmm.
This is one of my favorite teams currently in the NBA in terms of potential because unlike all the other teams who a lot of them need like a ton of pieces around them, this is one of those teams that needs another star around them because they have all the pieces around them. They have Luka. It would be a little bit nice to have a more consistent full-time scorer as to look to as well, because you have probably 6 to 7 people who are capable of being in the starting lineup on that team between
Hmm.
Jalen Brunson, Reggie Bullock, Finney Smith,
Tim Hardaway Jr., who
Tim
was hurt
Hardaway
actually.
Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie. Bertans was really good when he was in Washington. He was a good role player. I'm not going to say really good. But then you have Maxi Kleber as well. And then, not to mention, you just got Christian Wood, which I cannot state enough how big that move is.
Absolutely, because
That is a great center.
So yeah, sorry to jump in right here, but I've been saying like all year too, like especially when they lost Kristaps. I mean, just because of his size or whatnot, they needed like someone down there to like rebound and protect the rim. Luka was their only rebounder, and we know how much Luka has to facilitate from the perimeter. Like they need an interior presence. I was thinking like all along that they could use a Rudy Gobert. Like Rudy Gobert would be so much better in that system than he would be on Utah. But absolutely, Christian Wood, he's younger than Gobert, and he's athletic as well.
Mark my words when I say this. I think that Christian Wood is going to be a top 6 to 7 center next year. If not, potentially could be slightly better. Obviously, he's not going to crack the Jokic, Embiid, and Towns 3, but I think he can be 5 or 6 guaranteed.
Do you think he can be around Ayton's level?
Yes. I think he'd be on Ayton, Gobert, and Gobert's level, mainly.
And I think that Luka's playmaking, he'll definitely feed off of that.
Because you got to keep in mind, he was averaging 17 and 10, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and he wasn't getting a lot of minutes, if I'm not mistaken, either. Because they were having issues with him. They were let me see if I can find. Yeah, he was averaging 30 minutes this year, and he was getting 17 points and 10 boards in 30 minutes. He wasn't playing 40 minutes a game, like most good players do. So I think he could be really good. I think he'll be a big contributor. But I also think he's going to do way more than that when he plays the full 40 minutes. And you have to keep in mind, him and Kevin Porter Jr. had issues with the coaches on the Rockets throughout the year because they hated how much they were losing. So now you're having him get sent to a team that is currently in the middle of winning culture. Like, you're going to get probably twice the amount of effort from him, too. So that's going to be really exciting for them. I just think that they need... I think what would be really nice is like Bradley Beal, if you can get him there, because he's also going to be playing with half the old Wizards players. So from the trade, so that would be nice. Him and Dinwiddie and Bertans all together.
That's a championship roster right there.
So I mean that's what I would like to see personally.
Yeah.
That's all I got in terms of the Mavericks. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, as you summed it up, they need another person who can consistently score at will to help Luka. And on top of that, they needed like rim protection and rebounding.
Yeah, and just ease the pressure off of guys like Brunson and Hardaway so that they don't need to potentially drop that 20, just that 10 to 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all I got. You got anything you want to add?
Nope. This Dallas team, they're a fun group to watch. Like they really are.
Yeah. So without further ado, we're gonna wrap it up there. Releasing 3 videos, so we hope you enjoy those and you have a fantastic week full of family, love, sports, whatever it is. I hope you enjoy the content that we're bringing, and I hope that, if you guys like the idea of us just kind of doing a randomization of some of these teams and just talking about different ones every once in a while, you like that too. Kind of brings a different factor. Maybe we'll do it with the players too as we move forward. And yeah.
And also feel free to like give us suggestions on any topics that you want to hear us address as well.
Perfect. So we hope you have a great night, and we will see you all next time.
For me and you, I want you, I love you. Can I touch you, I rub, let me love you. Put my dreams to the side only cause I trust you. Girl, I trust you, I love you.